Hi everybody, this is Anna. I met her in my Airbnb apartment, so she's living in another room. And I just thought she was an interesting person. So Anna, can you tell us where you're from?
I'm from Lisbon, Portugal.
Okay, wow. I don't really meet many people from Portugal while I'm traveling. So that's pretty cool. And what are you doing here in Colombia?
Well, I'm traveling, but at the same time I haven't stopped working. I teach Portuguese online.
And you teach European Portuguese, right?
Yes, yes.
How is it different from Brazilian Portuguese?
So the first big difference is pronunciation, which is
Okay.
very, very different.
Okay.
It sounds like two different languages.
Really? Okay.
Even though it is the same language.
Yeah.
And then there's a few grammar points. There's a lot of vocabulary that is different.
Can you give me an example of how the pronunciation is different for like a simple sentence?
I can give you a word.
Okay, a word.
For example, one of the most famous words in Portuguese is the word saudade, which is this feeling of longing for something, which is very hard to translate. There's not an English word for it. So in Portuguese, European Portuguese, we would say saudade.
Saudade.
In Brazilian Portuguese, we say saudade.
Saudade. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I heard saudade in a
See?
song once. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you miss somebody. Yeah, I've heard that word.
Yeah, and also, so for example, Brazilian Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, all the syllables, like in Spanish or Italian, all the syllables have the same length of time.
Okay.
Like ta.
Okay, wow.
Portuguese, European Portuguese, like English, for example,
Right.
all the syllables do not have the same length.
Okay. Wow.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Wow. So would you say that European Portuguese is more difficult?
It's different because, so in a way, it is harder because the pronunciation is harder, it's harder to speak, harder to understand it.
Right.
But on the other hand, Brazilian Portuguese is very specific in its pronunciation, very different.
Okay.
And also, what you learn in school, if you learn Brazilian Portuguese, and then when you learn on the streets, it's very different.
Okay.
The same thing is not as true with European Portuguese.
Okay.
If you learn something, by the books,
Okay.
it will be closer to what is spoken.
Oh, wow.
Brazilians use a lot of slang.
Right,
They
yeah.
play with language a lot.
Right, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that.
So that's hard learning
Okay.
Brazilian Portuguese.
What about music? Well, have you been to Brazil actually?
No,
Oh,
not
you
yet.
haven't. Okay.
But as a Portuguese, of course, we consume a lot of Brazilian culture.
Right. Okay. So you've listened to like Brazilian samba or bossa nova before, right?
Oh yeah, we grow up with it.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
So, but is it very different from say European Portuguese music?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Very different. So if you look, the most famous type of Portuguese music is fado. So really sad and melancholic.
Okay. I see.
It's very different.
Yeah, that's pretty different
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
samba. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about other aspects of the culture between Portugal?
Like you could say in many ways we are opposites.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. There's this saying that says Portuguese is ashamed of being happy and the Brazilian is ashamed of being unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Portuguese tend to have this kind of melancholic nature to us. We're famous for it.
Right.
And being like a bit withdrawn and quiet in relation to other Latins. Whilst Brazilians are very,
Yeah.
happy and super.
It seems so. Yeah. They're kind of like they hug you and
Yeah.
it's very loving.
Yeah.